Welcome to Caravan of GLAM Presents on KPQR LP Portland, Wild Planet Radio.
So it's Friday. It's time for the Caravan of GLAM Presents. It's me, Dawn Newton.
And J-Boo, and that obnoxious horn behind us.
It's Friday. We're here to get your weekend started. We have two special guest hosts joining us today. Who are they, Justin?
My great-grandmother, Vivica Valentine.
I hate you with a passion.
And my younger sister, Sugarpill.
Aww. Well, thank you, Vivica and Sugarpill, for coming in.
Uh-huh.
You're here to entertain. Hopefully we won't scare them too bad and they'll come back.
I think we'll be scared of Vivica. If anyone's scaring anyone, it's Vivica.
I'm going to bring my snacks, so I'll be good.
Snack City.
All right. This is the Caravan of GLAM Presents on Wild Planet Radio 99.1 FM. Streaming at wildplanetradio.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Patrick from Eastside Strength and Performance. You are tuning in to the Caravan of GLAM Presents on KPQR 99.1 FM or streaming live on wildplanetradio.com.
This is the Caravan of GLAM Presents. We're being kind.
To each other. For the time being.
It's me, Dawn Newton.
J-Boo.
Vivica V.
Special co-host, Vivica V.
Hey.
Vivica Valentine. Number 57, what?
Rose Empress.
Rose Empress 57 of the Imperial Sovereign Rose Corps, Portland, Oregon, of the Inland Empire, Esquire the Third McGillicuddy.
And Sugarpill is here.
Arch enemy to Vivica Valentine.
You're my daughter.
Ooh.
Well, I guess it makes sense. She's my daughter.
Family Feud.
You just pulled a dirty trick on her, too. And I called you out on it.
I did.
You did.
She was looking for the bathroom, and I told her it was out the door and down the hallway to her left. And then she opened the door,
There's
looked
no
to the left.
hallway.
There was no hallway. It was just a bathroom. So she got lost
you were right.
looking for the hallway that was not there.
And she came back with some choice words for
She
you.
did.
Sure did. We will not air those.
It was rude to her mother.
I know. Such a sensitive flower.
So let's start it off. Is that a pet peeve?
What?
When she does that
It's
to you,
Vivica,
Sugarpill?
pet peeve for everyone? Yeah. Yes.
Correct.
I'm a walking pet peeve, and I'm willing to admit that.
When Vivica talks.
When Vivica goes out in public, that's my pet peeve.
So let's talk about some pet peeves. Justin, you have some?
Laziness is my biggest one. Laziness, excuses, and the word no or I can't.
I'm too busy.
Those ones drive me... Oh, too busy? Yeah. Those ones drive me crazy. Laziness more than anything.
I would say people that aren't dedicated. Like, if you commit yourself to something, stick through with it. I would say that's one of my pet peeves. Like, I'll make commitments to things, and then, halfway through, I don't want to do something anymore for, whatever reason. But, if I decide to back out of something, how's that going to affect all these other people that I committed to? Or even one person that I committed to? And I couldn't do it.
Look?
Well,
Yeah.
that's like growing up too, like sports. My mom and dad were like, okay, I get you don't like playing this now that you've signed up for it, but you're going to finish it. You just don't need to sign up again.
Yeah, it's life lessons.
Because you have a team and you have people dependent upon you, and you made the commitment, so follow through. And then when it's your commitment is up,
then you're done.
you can make a new decision.
Yeah, I'm personally fine if people don't want to commit to a bunch of stuff, but the one or two things that you commit to, stick through it. Because if you decide to back out on it, it doesn't matter what it is. How's it going to affect other people and the way that you're viewed? So I would say commitment.
What about manners? I have an issue with manners.
Manners don't really faze me.
Like if somebody, here's the thing.
Well, you have none. But
I don't. No, I don't.
Her pet peeves are manners.
You better put your elbows on that table when you're eating. Chew with your mouth open, and I want to hear you talk.
What about when you hold the door open for somebody? Like you're going into the store and you hold the door open for somebody, and they don't even say thank you. They just walk on in like you were supposed to hold the door for them.
Oh, see.
That kind of stuff is what irritates
and
me.
you walk behind them and trip them.
On a real note, I'm all about manners when it comes to like public settings, like what you just said, Dawn. If someone's walking right behind me into like the grocery store or somewhere where you got to open a door, I'm going to be cordial and open that door and have you walk through it first. But like you said, a lot of people don't ever say thank you or whatever.
No.
So I prompt them to say something.
What do you do?
I usually open the door, let them go through, and right before they go through, I say, "There you go." And most of the time, they usually address with, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, with the look on their face, like,
Like, why are you opening the door for
Why are you
me?
talking?
Yeah,
Right?
like, why are you
Why
talking to me?
Because I opened the mother door for you, so you better say thank you.
I'm usually the one that says, "Hey, you're welcome."
Uh-huh.
I make that point.
I'm usually not
And-
that aggressive with strangers because I don't know what to expect from strangers. I could be shanked or shot or beat or, looked at ugly, and that might hurt my feelings.
What about when you're in the grocery store and you're at that checkout line and like I have a basket full of stuff and I'm in the appropriate line and then somebody has one thing and they want to know if they can cut in front of you and I'm like, no, the express lanes are down there. And then they look at you and it's like, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some
Do you do
stores-
that?
If I have a bunch of stuff with me and someone just has like one or two things and they ask if they can cut in front of me, it usually my answer depends on how they ask, to be honest.
How you're approached?
Yeah, like if I feel like they're in a hurry, or if they ask nicely, like, would you be okay if I cut in front of you? I'm gonna running late to pick up my kid from the dump or whatever.
That was you.
Okay, that's me. That's usually what I tell people. But like from the pool or from school, yeah, of course I'm going to let this, possible single mom like cut in front with her head of lettuce and a gallon of milk. Sure, why not? It's not going to affect me none because I like whatever. But if someone's like, since you have a bunch of that stuff and I just have this orange juice, can I take your spot in
That's
front of you?
usually how it is.
I'll usually say, no, but the express lane is right down there, though. Go ahead, have fun.
Sugarpill, what about you? Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve. I feel like I hate this is very specific, but when things are going good for you and someone says like, "Oh, like lucky," like,
Oh, and they say
okay.
it's snarky
like,
and
well,
like.
not even snarky, but just like, oh, like, I just feel like, yes, like, where I am in the world and a lot of like how I interact with the world is related to a lot of privilege that I have. I also like work really hard for the good things that happen to me.
Yeah.
So to kind of put it down to luck is kind of like, okay, well, I also like worked my butt off, but yeah.
You
I
worked
can
your butt
understand
off
that.
and you made choices and you set some boundaries and you're very selective about where you spend your time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like goals. Like I can understand why Alex would see it that way, but I'll admit, I'm sometimes one of that person that'll be like, lucky
you
ducky.
snarky?
Oh no, I'm not snarky about it. But like, if I were to ask Alex, how was your day today? Like, what'd you do? If he were to be like, oh, well, I went to work, I got a promotion. My hair looked really good today. Whoop-de-woo. Celebrating my anniversary with my boyfriend. Whatever. Like, just a line of like good things. I wouldn't think twice before saying, lucky ducky. Good job.
Right. Well, that's cute.
But you mean
But
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
That's
you mean
cute.
it. You're not being.
Oh, snarky about it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't believe in being snarky when it comes to that.
No, I don't. No, I don't think you.
Celebrate someone else's success with them.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
if you had something to say, you would just say it.
Oh, totally.
Sure.
You're
Yeah, she
passive
does.
aggressive.
Yeah.
You're just aggressive.
Unfortunately,
I'm either passive or I'm aggressive.
she's aggressively aggressive.
It's that Gemini.
It's a Gemini thing.
Sugarpill, what's your biggest pet peeve about Vivica? Your mother.
Go ahead.
Well,
I'm sure we've talked about it.
got a list here.
She actually reached for her
She
bag.
reached for her bag.
Biggest pet peeve about Vivica Valentine. I would. I feel like you've.
She keeps
It's hard for her to choose
Coming.
one.
Yeah, get real, get real, get real.
You have my permission. I love
Justin's
you.
right there.
Fall
Get
back.
real, get real.
Right?
I feel like you fall back on a couple different things to explain your behavior and your actions, Vivica Valentine. I feel like the word offensive comes out of your mouth a lot, and
Like she gets offended a lot.
like I feel like. No.
I don't get offended easily. I
No,
really
she
don't.
doesn't. No, that's not. Yeah, she doesn't get offended. But
It might be hard for her to
dialing
explain.
back. Let's see. I think that more than anything, I love you, and you know that. Like, I think that the biggest difference, and we've talked about this before, is that
Yeah.
we just like we see our actions in the world very differently, and like I think you've done like a lot of great things too. So it's
Yeah, and
I
vice
mean, that's
versa.
good. You can learn from each other.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Your turn, Vivica.
Please. Give us a solid answer like I just gave. That was not very shaky.
Yours wasn't
or-
very solid, though. Yours was very shaky. Mine's pretty solid.
No, please don't.
My biggest pet peeve about Sugarpill is I feel like she splits hairs a lot. when it comes to, I would
a
say,
fence sitter?
yeah, that word. And I don't even know fully what it means.
A what?
A fence sits on the
Like
fence a
sitting on the
lot.
fence.
Oh,
No, no, not sitting on the fence. I feel like,
You're like, that's it. That word that I don't know.
I feel like Sugarpill.
Sorry, go ahead. Your turn.
I feel like Sugarpill can get offended at almost anything at any time of day. But that's without me going into like explanations, I guess. I feel like she gets too offended too easily and doesn't look at the bigger picture from my perspective.
I think a lot. I think,
Yeah,
is that
I feel like she
fair? I
overthinks
think
things a lot. Yeah, as opposed to me, I don't.
You don't think at all, yeah.
I don't think at all. Like, I'm very politically incorrect, and I totally admit that, and I own it. And it may be a flaw that I probably should work on.
But what's
you
the
know.
age difference between the two of you?
Well,
There you
Vivica's
go.
79.
Your mother is 79. I actually just turned 31 on the 10th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so 11 years.
I mean, that's a generation, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Definitely it is. No, and I think especially because even myself, it's like as you get older and you start seeing stuff, you kind of get a little bit more, the filters come off. Because
Yeah.
you're like, you know what, I'm sorry. I know exactly what this is. I'm going to call it out.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, but
Like,
when I was younger, I definitely would not have done that because you didn't feel,
Oh, me
number one, that you
neither.
could.
Yeah.
You didn't know the difference. But yeah,
Yeah, like I honestly feel like a lot of the reasons why I am the way I am is because of how I grew up as a child, and I guess kind of how I was raised. Like growing up, you know, I remember times when I'd be like 7 years old, and I would use the word stupid, and you know, my father would hit me across the face for using the word stupid or dumb. You know, like I was so sheltered as a child,
suppressed and oppressed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I lived my whole childhood that way. So coming into adulthood, knowing that I don't have that shadow standing over me, like I don't want anybody to ever, have to feel like they can't, express how they truly feel, whether it offends someone or not, and, have to deal with like repercussions.
And it's okay to agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And like you can voice your opinion about something. And, like if someone comes up to you and says, hey, I was offended because you used this word or because you used this term or because you spoke in this way, as long as you're being genuine about it, by all means, I do also believe in apologizing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like my intent is never to offend anyone per se, but to make people look at the bigger picture.
Well, I think that's something that's missing right now, especially like in the media.
Yeah, like
political climate is we don't have grown-up discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets offended and they go to the corner and then they start all. I mean, it just
everyone
like,
gets offended because they got called. I don't know if you'll
Whatever.
bleep these out or later or not, but like because they were called a Negro or a spick or a tranny or a fag. Like yeah, all those words can and are offensive, but. I'm a strong believer that if you don't like the definition of a certain word or phrase, change the meaning of it for yourself and, empower it and embrace it. And, just change your emotions behind it.
And I
Educate.
think that for
Yeah.
words that apply to you, you can say that. But for words that don't affect you and aren't part of your life, like you can't really tell someone to change the meaning of that word. And
True.
again, where we differ.
Yeah, and that's where we
I
differ.
mean, I go out of the way not to use the H word. H-A-T-E.
Oh.
Just because I hate. Yeah.
Oh.
I personally
Yeah,
don't use
no,
it
I'm the same way.
because there's just too much. There's nothing positive about the word.
Yeah.
So I try not to use it in my life.
I don't use the word when it comes to people. Like, you'll never hear me say I hate Justin or I hate, Dawn or Sugarpill. Well, you guys are in the room. Like, you'll never hear me say I hate this person, but you'll definitely hear me say I hate this person's actions or like I hate how this person, talks.
So
I don't know.
replace it with dislike or not a fan of.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, it still is the same negativity as the H word, but for some reason I don't like the word.
I agree with Justin. Like, I'll use the word hate when it comes to non-human things. Like, I hate cooked onion. It is so disgusting. but like I can't hate people. I believe in karma, and I'm very superstitious.
Me too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like if I were to tell someone I hate you because I had an argument with you, and you get hit by a bus or you got shot or abducted by aliens the next day, I would feel absolutely horrible.
What about like on social media when everybody's like pouring their heart out, or somebody says, wow, this day really sucked, and they just leave it? And it's like, are you just begging for people to like beg you to share?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? That's a pet peeve.
I think
I don't play
everybody's
into it.
Yeah, I think everybody's different. Like I've definitely posted on Facebook before where it was like a 4 or 5 letter post where it was like, "Oh, this day was crappy, but I'm not looking for attention." But some people could easily post something on Facebook like, "I just got some horrible news." ... Like, bitch, you're looking for attention. Say what your horrible news was, or stop wasting my time on my news feed.
Yeah. Do you feel like you guys, people look up to you as role models and it's expected?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially for artists in the LGBTQ community. Like,
You feel pressure?
yes, all the time. And
Sugar?
I think that especially like in my perspective as like a an underage drag queen, a youth, I think that there's often or sometimes pressure to like speak for all youth, or to represent all youth, which is dangerous. And that's
because everybody's different.
right.
Is that why you're so reserved and you think so much because you don't want to say the wrong thing?
I mean, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't think that affects that. No, I think that I just really care about what I say and how I present, but not just how I present, but what I do and what I say affects other people.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I don't have any pet peeves for you.
At all.
Oh, well, me and
could go.
Sugarpill surely do.
I really don't. Oh,
Yeah.
you do? You have some for Justin?
Oh, you
Yeah.
don't have any nothing that I do.
Like about Justin.
Like, you don't like that he
okay.
wears his sunglasses during the day?
Well, I don't understand.
I'm having allergy
He's
issues.
got allergy issues. Before it was because it was too
You're
bright.
allergic to sunlight?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh.
Are you,
No, I don't.
Count Vampirella?
Do you have any for me? Do I have it?
No.
Is there any pet peeve with me?
No, you get
We just
stuff done.
We just get our stuff done, and we just talk pretty
I
candidly.
mean, we have a mother-son relationship.
I guess so. No, not your mother.
No, kind of. In a way, like
Slightly
Ray is
older
on,
sister.
Yeah, I'm a sister.
Okay, sister,
Yeah.
brother,
Jeez,
sister
Justin.
relationship.
Way to conform somebody.
Well, yeah, but
I find that offensive, and it's a pet peeve of mine.
I think it's a partnership, definitely.
Yo, total partnership.
Yeah, that we just
So,
like,
we'll
what do you
call and
think?
just
I don't.
shoot-
Yeah.
Shoot the breeze.
Shoot the breeze.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Oh, look at me correcting somebody on their language. Awkward.
I spent an hour and a half with you, and look what's happened.
I know. I'm trying to watch what I say so I don't offend this one. Cross-dressing dude.
This is the Caravan of Glam Presents. We'll be right back. That was getting pretty serious.
Hey everyone, this is Justin with Wild Planet Radio and the Caravan of Glam Presents. Don't forget to connect with us. Facebook, Wild Planet Radio, Twitter, @Wild Planet Radio, Instagram, Wild Planet Radio, and of course, # Wild Planet Radio. Tell your friends, share the news of WPR on social media, and stream us 24/7 at wildplanetradio.com.
It says here that there's, according to Cosmopolitan, there's 10 movies you must watch if you're questioning your sexuality. So I want to know.
Who wrote it? A straight person or...
Right. I mean, it's for Cosmo, so.
Yeah. Kristen Russo and Danielle Owens Reed. It doesn't say
I'm going to read them both.
how they identify. But Danielle's picks were, so tell me if you're from, I'm not familiar with any of these movies. Maybe you are. Blue is the warmest color.
No.
Nope.
Imagine Me and You.
Nope.
Boys Don't Cry.
Yep.
Yes.
So was that a good movie? Was that
It's a
actually
sad movie.
It's really sad.
Fish Out of Water?
Nope.
No.
Orange is the New Black?
That's a TV show.
Yeah, it's
show.
not a movie, but it's great. And they say it's great because it is a hit TV series and no one will question your motives. What does that even mean?
Well,
Why do you
I don't
hang
know.
out with people that are questioning your motives
It says,
anyway?
plus there's tons of lesbian all up in it. So if you're secretly wondering how you might feel about touching Lady Bitch, you can watch all these gals have all of the sex and then think to yourself, I'm so turned on.
okay, these authors are both straight.
Yeah. Because I don't
terrible.
think, yeah, no.
You can also evaluate how you feel about prison. It's really the best thing in the world.
Who?
You know, in the Uber ride over here this morning that I took with Jayla,
He tells every single
Every
Uber driver
time.
that I just got released.
that she just got out of prison for armed robbery.
Well, it was armed robbery yesterday and today. Like before I said that, I was
The other day was assault. And that she had a girlfriend in the pen named Large Marge. And Jayla was the number one girl. And Marge
This is my life,
upset.
ladies and gentlemen.
So do they believe you when you say that?
I mean, I can say stuff. With
Yeah,
the
and then he also
straightest
says
face
that
in the
we're going to
world.
consummate our marriage after we get dropped off at home.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jayla, would you just sit there in silence and just...
I laugh and I cuss at him and I just ignore him as much as I possibly
It's
can.
fun. I live a great life.
at everyone else's expense.
Yes.
I mean, I do. I have so much fun daily.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now here's some more. Pariah,
No.
Lost and Delirious,
That's Jayla. I live it.
Fried Green Tomatoes.
I haven't seen that in years.
It
but
says,
Yeah, it's been a
well,
while.
and I don't quite get it because I've seen it. It
they're
says,
good. Fried green
Okay, all
tomatoes
right.
are
It says,
good.
perhaps you did not think this is a gay movie. Perhaps you genuinely believe that Mary Stuart Masterson and Mary Louise Parker, fans, self, are just friends.
Huh?
I don't understand. What's really incredible about the relationship between the two female leads in the book version of Fried Green Tomatoes, these ladies are not at all ambiguous about the doing it nature of their relationship. I don't know. I didn't pick up on
Doing
that
it
in
and
the movie.
doing it.
No.
and doing it
So it's like,
well.
why did you use a movie that doesn't
Yeah.
provide that, but the book does? So
I do
that's-
like the title because it's about food, so I'm okay with that. I'll watch it again.
The L Word,
That's a TV
Yeah,
show.
I've never watched that.
Romeo.
No.
No.
Okay, so this article doesn't.
That article is the worst. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I
Wait,
think
are those
that-
foreign movies?
Nope.
No, I think honestly that if you are questioning your sexuality, there's an easier approach. You can go onto the interwebs and watch some X-rated films and see if it does anything for you.
So-
and the thing is that it's not going to be like a drop of a hat, like, oh, it's Monday, so today I think I like women. And then it switches back on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden you like men. Like it's something that
Nothing
like you
wrong
slowly
with that.
discover over time. But I mean, like, it's not like watching a movie like that is gonna
So
be.
did either of you ever, or maybe you still are, maybe Justin, I think you said this in the past, questioned your sexuality, or did you always know how you felt?
I don't think I've ever questioned it.
I kind of questioned it just because I didn't understand what it was like to like boys or anything like that growing up, and always feeling like the odd one out. And then gender played a whole nother role into it, so like that was another whole
Right, because you
questioning and
came
figuring
out
things.
twice.
I technically came out 3 times.
Ooh.
I came out as bisexual because I was too afraid to say the word gay. And then I came out about like a year later to being fully gay. And then I finally came to terms with who I was because I never felt fully complete or comfortable even as being a male. So came out as being trans after sitting with like a therapist and everything like that, and kind of taking that leap.
So on your journey, you actually have professional resources that helped you.
Yes.
Did you turn anywhere else? Was it family? Was it friends? Did you go to-
I was too afraid to turn to my family at first because I didn't know what the reaction was going to be. Like, I knew that, especially my mother would have supported me no matter what, but it's just the whole, saying it and, making it like a reality. Like, are my siblings going to support
But
me?
your
Are my-
family knew, right? Because you and I talked in the past.
Yeah, they all had quite the idea, but it was more so me being ready to
Right.
make that journey and transition into being, my true self. So it was more so about me internally struggling with things, thinking that overanalyzing and thinking that, I would be shunned from my family or whatever. Just because you hear like all those, horror stories of somebody coming out and
Every
just
day.
wanting to be themselves, and, they don't always have the support system. And here I had this great support system being a gay man, but that wasn't who I truly was. And then I was afraid that, if I was that, vulnerable and being true to myself, that it wouldn't have gotten accepted.
Well, we see it on the road all the time when we travel too.
Yeah.
So
People
just
tell us stories.
what was that like for you? Did you ever question your sexuality? And
I mean, I remember I was super into, Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge, where he's running in the slow motion with the really long hair. Like that really, stands
You just had a
out.
conversation about this with Isaiah, 2 weeks ago.
That's stands out in my mind. And I'm like, maybe.
how old were you then?
I mean, I don't know when did that video come out?
Were you like a teenager? Were you?
Probably.
And then what did you do after that? How did you keep exploring that?
Well, the internet was coming up. I mean, I lived in a really small hunting fishing town, Coos Bay. So there still isn't any outlets. I mean, there's a couple Facebook groups, but those are private.
Well, there is also the gay bar that they were telling us about.
No, it's not.
No.
It's where everyone goes. But
Never mind.
So when you talked to your family about it, what was that like?
my family is not. No one ever questions. No one I guess no one cares. So it's not. Nothing's a big. Nothing in my family is ever a big deal. So we're super chill and super mellow, and I never felt pressure to sit everyone down and say, "Oh my God." They just accept me.
Did you feel that, Jayla?
I mean, I knew my family accepted me, like I said. But I mean, having that sit down conversation and coming to the realization and, saying it out loud to somebody else aside from somebody that is a professional and deals with, trans topics and all that kind of stuff like that. So, I mean, saying it to somebody that, you've known your whole entire life and they've known you as one way. And then, coming out and being like, by the way, I'm not gay. And I happen to be a woman trapped in a man's body. It's just I put my family through a freaking whirlwind. So it was definitely interesting.
I mean, I also don't feel like I need to sit and tell people now. I've never felt like I've needed to sit and tell anybody.
So because both of your experiences and your journey has been positive.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot of people still think that I'm straight. They ask. I mean, once you get to know me, but I mean, I don't, you can ask Jayla, I don't, going out in public and stuff, I'm
sorry,
know.
your model walk is a dad giveaway.
I mean, I'm really reserved when I'm out in public unless I'm around people that I'm comfortable with and content with. When we go out though as a group, the Caravan, when we're on the road, I mean, I'm a completely different person, but when I go out in public,
You're basically farting rainbows that whole entire
yeah,
trip.
that's true. But no, I've cut dairy out, so the farts have stopped.
So when you hear these stories about these kids that have been ostracized and kicked out of their homes and all the horror stories that comes on, what's your advice or what?
I would say that as heartbreaking as it is and as lonely as the road feels, just know that there's somebody out there that has gone through something similar. I mean, obviously nothing, exactly the same because every person is different and every life experience is different. But just know that there is going to be an outlook out there. There is going to be somebody that understands you and there is going to be somebody that loves you. There's
new outlets popping up every day. When we decided to venture out into the unknown territory, we didn't have the Facebook. We didn't have the groups online. We didn't have the gay straight alliances in high schools. We didn't have any of that stuff. So it's a lot easier, I think, nowadays, but it's still terrifying in every way, shape, and form.
You're also putting me in the same age bracket as you, and I'm 10 years younger. So
well, you don't look it. Your hair is 30 years older.
We'll get him back for that.
Tumbleweave, rolling down MLK. She picked it up, threw it on her head.
I didn't have time to do anything. I literally showered and threw my hair up and came.
Daily.
Well, and here's the other thing, too, is that listeners need to know they can always reach out to the Caravan of GLAM Presents.
Yeah.
They can reach out.
Of course.
To everybody individually, too, if they're needing that support or someone to talk to, because I think that's
important.
That's the message that we want to make sure we give everybody, too. Even when you're on the road, is putting that out there and realizing that the lives that you're touching. So I think it's awesome.
And really and truly, when we are on the road, it's emotional almost in every city after the shows because people come up and they're like, we've never seen anything like you. We've never connected with ourselves.
It's overwhelming.
It's
I think
super
it's awesome.
overwhelming. That's why I hide at the end of the shows, because I don't want to.
I tried to, and then he throws me out of the dressing room.
Well, like no one connects with me because I don't perform or do anything like that. I just stay behind the scenes, but connect with the performers, not with me.
Not with Jay. Not with Justin.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
I don't want to connect with anyone.
We'll be right back. This is Caravan of Glam Presents. I'm Dawn Newton.
I'm Jayla.
And J Boo.
We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up? It's Ecstasy Inferno with the Caravan of Glam Presents. It's time to get social with us. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Wild Planet Radio, and Caravan of Glam. You can also hear all of our podcasts, musician interviews, LGBTQ news, updates, and much more on SoundCloud. Just look for Wild Planet Radio.
This is Darcel 15, and you're listening to the Caravan of Glam presented on Wild Planet Radio, streaming at wildplanetradio.com.
Okay, this is the Wild Planet Radio 99.1 FM. We are the Caravan of Glam Presents. Come on, Justin.
J Boo in the house.
Tiny Prancer.
The big V.
That's it. Do we have our guest hosts that are in here? We have Sugarpill.
Hello. Yeah.
And then we have Vivek Valentine.
Rose Empress 57.
So what's the relationship between you and Sugarpill?
Well, she's my daughter.
So what does that mean?
Well, she's my drag daughter. I'm her drag mother. Well, one of them.
So
I'm her best one. I'm her cool one. I'm her
Who's
fun
the
one.
other mother?
I have 3 drag mothers who I claim as like mother, I guess.
Which one's the number one mother?
I don't do that. I don't do that.
That's smart.
Her and I know the truth. I know the truth. So she doesn't have to admit that it's me. She's winking at me. She's smiling. Yeah,
What qualifies someone to be a drag mother?
Well, I feel like everyone's definition is a little different, and
I would
feel like
agree.
most of drag is like that. But for me, the people who I call drag mom have very important like roots in my drag and like where I started. And when I was 16, I met Vivica, and that was about 4 years ago. And
oh gosh, I'm old.
And so actually Vivica was one of the first drag queens I'd ever met. And from that night, I found that I wanted to pursue it even more. I'd been looking into drag since I was 14, 15, by going to like different queer youth events. And finally I ran for this like male title through the junior court, and met Vivica, who I think the next week she posted something about like Nair for her legs or something like
I
V.
did.
And I messaged her and I was
that.
like, so what does that like, is that the best way to get hair off my legs? And the first thing she said was, first of all, you're very brave because I don't even know you.
I did.
And I don't know, from there we just kind of kept in touch and little things, and apparently she was watching.
Yeah. I
but-
watch. I Facebook stalk people. I'm a hawk. I am.
You got to find out who people are about.
I wait.
Well,
Figure it all out.
I wait for people to have a weak moment, and then I'm like, "Ha! I'm your mom."
Oh.
That's just how it happens.
Oh, that's how you. Whoa.
No, that's not how it happens.
So when you decided to do drag, did you talk with Vivica about it first, or had you already done drag and that's where Vivica saw you?
So it's kind of an interesting process how this all happened. So when I was 15, I went to
I'll let you go.
the
Go.
Oregon Queer Youth Summit, which is a statewide summit that brings together queer youth from all over Oregon, often Southwest Washington, and they do breakout groups, and one of them was Drag 101. And my friend Stephanie, who was my first drag mom, is my first drag mom. Her name is Stephanie Aria, and she was teaching this Drag 101 workshop, and I was just like, I knew nothing, and I was just so fascinated, and I didn't even know why. And from there, I just kind of kept up with those workshops, and eventually I met Vivica, and it took me about 3 years before I even tried to do drag, and Stephanie did my first face, and from there it was just kind of like every week I really wanted to step it up and see what was up. And
Where did Sugarpill come from?
the name Sugarpill? So when I was
It should have been Vixen.
Vivian.
Vivian.
She tried to get me to change my name to Vivian Valentine.
Okay, we had like a multiple
disgusting.
hour-long conversation about her name. I just love V sounds, and she was asking me for ideas.
No.
So of course I'm going to give her Vivian and Vixen and Venus and Valerie, and I think that was before Valerie DeVille came out. By the way,
Didn't like my drag name, which was Sugarpill, which was the actual question.
it just reminded me of the makeup. It's like naming your drag name Houseplant or
That's cute.
Sugarpill,
She lives in Chicago.
or Cupcake, or Butcher Block. I don't know. To me it just sounded like an object at the time, and I will openly say that I do take that back. I think Sugarpill fits her very well, and I'm very proud of what Alex has made of Sugarpill. But we still have those inside jokes of, me going up to me like, Vivian.
So how is Alex different from Sugarpill? What's the difference?
I don't feel like there is really a difference. I don't really feel that I do different. I don't feel like it's a character to me. I feel like I've kind of absorbed a name, and I feel like I create like a look, but I wouldn't say that the actual person is any different. Me with 4 hours of makeup and heels and lashes the size of like an airplane, like don't change the person underneath that. So I feel like that is something that I really hold to, is being genuine with who I am, even in and out of drag.
I think that's
I would agree with Alex on that. I see him the same way that he just explained himself. Like Alex and Sugarpill are completely the same. Like there's no difference in the two of them, as opposed to me, where Jess and Vivek are completely different.
Right. Right, which is also cool. It's interesting to see how everyone learns to live.
I mean,
in
Ecstasy and Angel are
completely
different.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What about competitions? Have you done much in the way of competitions?
I feel like I've done quite a bit for like my age. Being under 21, it is kind of difficult to break out in a lot of drag scenes. And Portland is very, very wonderful in the sense that we have a lot of opportunities for underage performers. And so through Dragathon, I was able to compete for 2 years in a row when I was where I started when I was 18, and then it's always like my birthday is halfway through Dragathon every year. So I competed in my first season of Dragathon when I was 18, and that was a really helpful and very humbling experience, I think, because those were some of the most interesting entertainers in Portland at the time that were kind of in that kind of competition range. And it was, so I competed the next year, and that was this past year, and it's been really, really great to be around such talent in Portland.
You grow really quick.
So in Dragathon, were you competing against drag queens your age and older? So is that an open playing field? Because Justin, you're part of Dragathon, right?
Yeah, Ecstasy and I produce it.
Right. So
It's a multi-week competition.
And all
event.
ages. No?
From 18 and up,
Yeah,
depending
18
on the
Right,
venue.
18 and up.
Yeah.
Do you find that different being a younger drag queen? Do we have a name for a younger drag queen? Do we
Like underage youth.
Yeah, underage youth. Like, I feel like in the gay community, if you're under 21, you're part of the youth. Like, even Sugarpill, who's 20, who's going to turn 21 in literally just a few months, like, I would still consider her part of the youth. Like, even people, again, this is just my opinion, even some people who may be in their early 20s or mid-20s who may not be that knowledgeable about what's outside of the youth spectrum are still part of the youth. Like, it's not just about age, it's about your mindset as well.
So has that played a role in your success as a drag queen or being accepted?
I feel like I've been given a lot of really wonderful opportunity based on the friends that I've made through drag, especially having met Vivica and having met my other drag moms, Stephanie and Jade. I think that by having the opportunity to know other people who have done drag and who are older and who know other people in the community and have introduced me to them, I feel like I've definitely had a really great opportunity to grow and learn at such a young age for a drag entertainer. And I think that there are a lot of really talented young people in Portland, and the more that we can provide opportunities for youth and young adults to be a part of queer art and queer history in Portland, the more
better.
we'll see that. The better, absolutely.
Hey, you're listening to the Caravan of Glam Presents with myself, Dawn Newton, and Justin Buckles. You're a little quiet today, Justin.
Allergies. Ran out of snacks.
With our co-host Vivica
Yeah, I'm
Valentine.
upset about that. Hey.
And then Sugarpill has also joined us.
Hello.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some more questions for Sugarpill, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, Sugar's on the spot.
If you could be a Disney princess, Justin, which one would you be?
Dude, I don't know any of them.
Oh, please.
I've never watched well, I have watched Disney movies, but
And there's always a princess in there somewhere.
who's the richest?
Who's the richest? No, he's not narcissistic or self-absorbed. No. We stand corrected, Jayla.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be a princess, I want the most money.
Hi, welcome back. This is Vivica Valentine with Caravan of GLAM Presents on Wild Planet Radio 99.1 FM, streaming at wildplanetradio.com.
Oh, we're back? Okay.
We're back. Hey, welcome back.
I don't even have time to go to the bathroom.
No, Justin.
Nope, no bathroom breaks
I'll
for...
hold it.
What's everybody listening to? What's the name of our
Caravan of
show?
GLAM Presents on wildplanetradio.com. KPQR 99.1 FM.
What is on your playlist, Justin?
Vivica
Brittany,
Valentine
always
is
Brittany.
here.
Hey.
And we've been talking with Sugarpill.
Hello.
So I wanted to ask you, whenever we're doing interviews, it doesn't matter who we talk to that are part of the LGBTQ community, gay, straight, or not, we always ask, what is your advice for the youth? Now, you are the youth that we're asking for advice for. So what would you say to the youth with your experiences and what, whether it's drag, what would your advice be?
Yeah, well, I really feel like youth and young adults, like young people, have such power and potential with like moving forward. I really disagree with the phrase like youth are the leaders of tomorrow. I think that it's junk. I don't know what I can say, but I think that that's disgusting. I think that like youth are the leaders of right now, and youth can really take that momentum and create something special out of it, having such fresh perspective on the queer community and their communities overall or in general. I think that the most dangerous thing you can do is let yourself believe that you're just a young person, because no, you are a young person. It's like the most it could be the most positive and incredible part of the work that you do is that you are young. And so whether that's like art, drag, whether it's sports, whatever you're passionate about, don't discount yourself because you're youth or you're a young person, because that's why you're what's up right now. Like, this is the time for you to do it.
Did you ever face bullying growing up?
I did. I feel like the more that I hear stories from people that I meet just kind of going into adulthood, the more I think that maybe I didn't have it as bad as I thought I did. But I did experience bullying, and especially elementary and middle school. All of this before I had even come out. I think that was what was interesting. I came out when I was 12 in 7th grade, and I feel like the bullying and like the like harassment and the like hating myself was like done. Like, I feel like once I was comfortable with who I was, and not that once I was comfortable, but once I was seen that way, seen as someone like strong within myself and knowing who I am, there wasn't anything to make fun of me for.
Well, you kind of said that too, Vivica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was bullied throughout different phases, even before I came out, with like with what I mentioned earlier before Sugarpill got here, with the elementary school phase of my childhood. It was being poor. In middle school, it was being fat and poor, and then in high school, it was being fat and gay. So I just went through different phases.
And then what about that, the words, it gets better? We hear that a lot too. People say, I don't want it to sound cliche when we ask people to give the youth advice. I know that sounds cliche, but it does get better. Do you like hearing that?
It gets better if you want to make it better.
I think that,
right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's really about not focusing on, it'll get better someday. Like, that's how I feel when I hear it gets better. I'd rather see people doing work and making it better right now, because we live in a world where that can happen right now. yeah, I personally am not a big fan of like It's Get Better or the It Gets Better project, like personally, just because we can do so much right now. Personally.
I agree.
Do you think it's overused?
I think it's overused. I think people overthink it sometimes.
I think people sit around and wait instead of taking action.
Yes, it's not going to get better unless you do something about it, and no one's going to make your life better but you. So stop hoping for it to get better. Do something about it and make it better now.
I mean, it's like... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just going to finish by saying whether it's for you or, other people.
It's like convincing yourself that you got the job that you interviewed for that you really want. And so you're sitting at home just waiting for them to call you instead of following up with them and saying, hey, just sitting and waiting and sitting and waiting and sitting and waiting for something to fall into your lap. And if you want to make a change and want your life bigger and better in a more positive direction, then you have to go do it yourself. No one's going to knock on your door and say, hey, I want to change your life.
Would you? Well, some people do.
I mean, some people do. Some people do. Usually on Sundays.
Yeah. Mine happened about Wednesdays or Thursdays midday. So I think whichever God is up there or down there or around here for my people that I have at my front door.
So Sugarpill, where did you turn and where do you turn? Because you're still a youth, for inspiration, for empowerment. Where do you draw your strength from?
I feel like looking into the community where I'm at and seeing people who are doing what I want to be doing, people who inspire me because they're being them. They're like Vivica. I don't always agree with Vivica.
And vice versa.
And we don't always agree with each other. And I mean, I think that the point of that, though, is that Vivica is very headstrong, and Vivica knows who Vivica is.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of person that I really look up to is someone who, especially people who are creating change and taking action beyond themselves. I find community leaders like Jen Burleton, the executive director of Transactive Gender Center here in Portland. I find her to be incredibly inspirational because of all the work that she's done. And yeah, I feel like finding people who are out there to do good and do more than just live through their lives. They want to make lives better for others, and that's what I find inspirational.
Where do you want to take Sugarpill?
There's a lot of, I really want Sugarpill and my drag to be something that I carry with for a very long time. I think that it's something that I would love to do more full-time. Maybe not full-time, of course, not right away, but I would really like to see drag be something that is not only an art form that I get to hold on to, but also something that can be a career. So that's where I see myself. I'm going to be a career queen.
A career as in like
Vivica,
a touring entertainer?
I approve of her choices, but I don't see it that way. For me, my drag isn't to seek a career out of it. For me, my drag is my own personal artistic expression of what I want to show the world. And I can also use it if I wake up on a Tuesday and I want to be an activist for somebody who doesn't have a voice. I can do it. But then I can, take my drag 2 days later and, do a gig and get some money for it. And, then the next week I can do it again for something else. But at the end of the day, my drag is for me. Whether I'm a pageant queen, a charity queen, a controversial queen, an activist, a bearded queen, whatever kind of queen, I'm me. And it's mainly for my own artistic expression.
And I think it's possible to have an artistic career.
Yeah.
And just goals are different. And I think that's cool to see.
Number one, it's having goals.
Right.
That's a good place to
Good
start.
place to start is to have goals.
That's a place to start.
Yeah.
Write them down. So if somebody wants to follow you, learn more about you, maybe reach out to you, where would you like us to go?
So facebook.com/sugarpillqueen, Instagram sugarpillpdx. I'm not on Grindr anymore, but
She's committed.
I'm such a proud mother.
But yeah, those are the best places to find me: Facebook and Instagram.
I think that's awesome. Well, Sugarpill, we appreciate you coming in.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Caravan of Glam with Justin Buckles and Don Newton. Vivica Valentine, Sugarpill.
What up, doe?
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
This is J-Boo with the Caravan of Glam Presents. We are done for the week.
Thank you, Justin, for all you did this week on our show.
Well, you know, I'm a hard little worker.
He aims to please.
Bringing in our special guests, Sugarpill and Vivica Valentine.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. I love being drilled.
Lots
sure
of
does.
It rarely happens.
Well, we hope you'll come back. Will you both come back at some point?
Absolutely.
Either together or
Please.
individually?
Yes.
Vivica, warn us, though, next time. Don't just show up. Don't just show up.
I was walking by the window and I was like, hey!
I saw that they had snacks, so I came in.
Right? And then I found out that they were vegan snacks. But by then, it was too late, so I was stuck.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. We'll be back next Friday.
Make good choices.
Or don't.